Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracārya Madhyamām Asmadacārya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Phunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mahavidvishavahi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we have been seeing this Avidya, ignorance, through Prakriti. So we discussed very clearly that when Sattva Pradhana insignificantly Rajas and Tamas is there, what we call as pure Sattva, that is called Maya. Second one we discussed, where Rajas and Tamas influences a lot, what we call as Marina Sattva, impure Sattva, that becomes Avidya. And finally comes the last verse that we saw, 18, where the Prakriti is called, or from out of Prakriti, 5 elements, that Tanmatras, subtle elements, because what we see, they are called gross elements. The space, the air, fire, water and earth, they are called gross. So we are talking about subtle. So these subtle elements we call as Tanmatras. So these 5 Tanmatras are born out of tamasic aspect of Prakriti, where tamas is predominant. Of course, in that Sattva is there, also Rajas is there. So if we look at in order, pure, let us say, Sattva, impure Sattva, and maybe maximum of Tamas. I cannot say, pure Tamas. So these are the 3 levels. Up to this we have seen it. Now it starts going to talk about sense organs. I would like to make it very clear before going to the verse. Generally, we all know, like the eyes, the ears, nose, the taste, all are called sense organs. 5 organs of perception we call as jñānam. But in reality, Shastra does not accept it. Because the eyes is called Golaka. It is just a location. This doesn't come under Tanmatras. This doesn't come under subtle elements. It comes under gross elements. Because eyes are part of the body. Eyes are subject to disintegrate. But the Indriyas will not disintegrate. There is a big difference. That's why today I was talking to Ajit, who gave very nice input. Like when he was having some eye issue for a long time, and doctor suggested, look, you have to go through this medication, that medication, this is to be done, a lot of confusion. So, good, he picked up, called Chakshusha Upanishad. kept chanting. And doctors are not able to believe. Of course, he had to tell lie or bluff or whatever. He had to manage them. I had some homeopathic, this, that, something, he said, because something has to tell. Now, because of the continuous of chanting Chakshusha Upanishad related to eyes, now his eyes are perfectly okay. So how it works, this is the link I am trying to give you. Because the Chakshusha Upanishad does not get connected to this physical eye. The parameters that doctor test, it is not related to, because their test only related to physical. But in reality, they themselves say, doctors themselves say what? 90% of the disease comes under psychosomatic disease. So when they say psychosomatic disease, what does it mean? Is it related to the body? It is not physical either. You can see the contradiction of they themselves. But there is love, there is lot of issues, lot of things. Let us not get into. To summarize here, one point. That when Shastra talks about sense organs, you have to understand it is not the physical sense organs that is available. There happens to be the Golaka, the location. But behind there is a principle. So we are going to talk sense organs means the principle, not the location. With this background, let us chant the verse number 19. Sattvansu pancabhistesham kramadhindriya pañcakaṁ smṛtratva kshirasana ghranākhyam upajāyate sattvansaiః pancabhitesham kramadhindriya pañcakaṁ smṛtratva kshirasana ghranākhyam upajāyate. Says beautifully. Now, what we need to do? Now already this 5 tanmatra, 5 subtle elements have been created. So from them, so out of that what happens? From these 5 elements, and of course each one individually, they have also sattvic aspect. So from the sattvic aspect of 5 elements, now what happens? Krama, gradually. So that means we need to look at very carefully. So that, because again from the tamasic aspect, total tamasic aspect mainly, predominantly, little sattva, little rajasa also is there. Now elements are created. Now 5 elements are created. Now let us look at space. In space, there is also sattva aspect. So from the the sattvic aspect of space, let us say from the sattvic aspect of space, the word kramat he uses gradually. What comes? Smṛtam. Smṛtam means ear. So the ear we saw physically, I also saw it physically, but behind the ear there is ear, okay? That we are talking about it. Now beautifully we need to see that. That's why in Tattvabodha we have heard that for every sense organs there is a presiding deity. Srotasya digdevata iti. Space becomes the presiding deity of the direction. In fact, direction becomes the presiding deity of ear, that we have seen it contextually. So now here he says that from the, let us say, sattvic aspect of space comes smṛtam, ear. Then from air, again sattvic aspect, remember this point, comes tayoḥ. Tayoḥ means skin, not skin actually, it's called, this is called touch, sense of touch. I'm sorry, skin is the wrong word, okay? Sense of touch. Then third one, from tejah, fire, comes eyes. That's why the sun is the direct source of tejah. Teja means the brilliance, the luminous. That's why Chakshusha Upanishad connects to it. This is the logic. Then the fourth one, from water, let us say sattvic aspect of water, comes the taste, sense of taste, which happens to be located on the tongue. And finally, from Prithvi, from the earth, the sense of smell is born. So, summarizing quickly, from sattvic aspect of space comes sense of hearing called ear. Then from pavana, air, comes sense of touch. From teja, fire, comes sense of that seeing eye. From water comes sense of taste. And finally from earth comes sense of smell. Sorry, correct. Sense of taste, sense of smell. Perfect. Now, okay, I understand this aspect. Then what about this mind and buddhi? Mana and buddhi means mind is, as you know, where indecisive process of thinking and decisive way of thinking. Don't worry, it is also going to talk. Let us read the next. This is what input together called antakarana. Te antah karanam sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidha mano vimarsarupam syat buddhiśca nischayatmika tairantah karanam sarvaihi vritti bhedena tadvidha mano vimarsarupam syat buddhiśca nischayatmika. Beautifully it talks. While each sattvic aspect of element one sense organs or here organs of perception is evolved, but here the collective sattvic aspect of five elements, sattvic portion of all the five elements produces called antakarana, inner instrument, namely mind and buddhi, mana and buddhi. So te sarvaihi antakaranam upajayate iti. So this inner instrument called antakarana, because through these only all the organs will be functioning. That's why there is a direct contact between mind and buddhi, of course, with the sense organs. How the connection? What is the connection? The connection is this, that let us say the eyes. Now the eyes happens to be sattvic aspect of tejas, brilliance. Now the mind is what? All sattvic aspects. So that means what? Also tejas sattvic aspect also is there in mind. With that sattvic aspect gets joined with other sattvic aspect. Like how the gene understands. You understand with this beautifully. Gene talks. Like for example, especially mother and child, it happens. When the child is not happy, child is in trouble, mother will come to know. The feeling of the mother, because gene starts talking, you understand, there is something wrong with my child. So the mother cannot keep quiet. That happens. You can't stop, even if you want. So like how it happens, we talk. Same thing also you can see, this sattvic connection. That's why mind is always listened to, relies upon sense organs. Can you see this point? Because after all it is sattvic aspect, it is not rajasic aspect or any other aspect. And also says, this both mind and intellect, actually even though they are one, but because of its way of functioning, they are called two. Both of them put together are called antakarana, inner instrument. But because of their way of functioning, they are called mind and intellect. So one is called vimarsha. So vimarsha means what is being talked in other context, sansayatmika. The nature of scrutiny. You start scrutinizing everything. Indecisive thought. Whereas buddhi is nischayatmika. That's why in Tattvada we have seen sansayatmika manaha, nischayatmika buddhi. So when there is samsaya, doubt, whether this is right or not, maybe what happens, this sattvic aspect gets mixed up, you understand? How it gets mixed up, we'll see talk some other way, some other time. Whereas nischayatmika buddhi, where the decisive thoughts are there. Okay, I understand. You could explain fantastically that both mind and intellect are connected to all organs of perception, Indriyas. What about karmendriya? Organs of actions? Hey, they make me more crazy. In fact, they don't make crazy, okay? Whatever craziness happens, it's only organs of perception, not organs of action. If we tie you down, what will happen? After some times, there will be pain, numbness will come, then after that, you will keep quiet. Whereas, mind will never become numb unless you take something, okay? So here, now let us look at this organs of perception, which is organs of actions. Let us look at the next verse. Rajum sei pañcabhistesham kramat karmendriyāṇi tu vakpani padapayustha bhidhanani jaggire. Rajum sei pañcabhistesham kramat karmendriyāṇi tu vakpani padapayustha bhidhanani jaggire. Says beautifully. If we try to observe this point, as it happened with reference to all organs of perception, now in the same order, organs of actions are created, but with a small difference, that organs of perception was connected to the sattvic aspect. Here is connected to rajasic aspect. This is the difference, nothing else. Same thing also if we want to say back, pani, pada, payu, upastha. Same order. Space, air, fire, then comes water and earth. And also here is organs of speech, hand, pada, organs of locomotion, payu, the anus, upastha, the genital. So they are born respectively. Okay, I understand. What about this 5 pranas? That is also important. So how do you put, where do you put that? Let us read the next. Te sarve saitehi pranaha vritti bhedat sa pañcadha pranopan samanascho dhano vyano uchate punaha. Te sarve saitehi prano vritti bhedat sa pañcadha pranopan samanascho dhano vyano uchate punaha. It's the same thing also. As it happened in the case of that mana and buddhi, same thing happens with reference to panchaprana. Even though mana and buddhi are called inner instrument put together, but because of functioning, way of functioning, they are called two. In reality they are one. But because of the functioning, way of functioning, it is called two aspect. Same thing also, prana is one. But because of its functioning, we have divided into 5 categories. And interest, all this comes from where? Again, it is born from the collective rajas of 5 elements. Sometimes we use some places elementals. So we sometimes, some people they use, this is called the elements that we see, gross elements, and that is called elementals, from which the element comes. But let us not get into technically. So many people will have many ways. So finally you will forget ele, then you will be mental, okay? So better to be elements than being mental, okay? So coming back to the point here. Now this prana, the vital energy, what we call as, even though it is one, but because of its 5-fold functions, we call them 5. And what are they? Prana, apana, samana, udana, vyana. We have talked in different ways, in different times, different places, how to understand, but still as the text demands, quickly also we can talk this point. So to understand, as you know, sometimes this prana is being classified only as two, prana and apana. So when it is said prana and apana, what does it mean? That sometimes they say prana upward, apana downward. In short, the upward energy and downward energy. So when you talk about directly energy level, hey, my prana is very high today. My apana is open. This is the one understanding. That's why when a person is having diarrhea, you will discover the person's energy is very poor. Because apana is open. That's why this in India it was there, in other countries also you had, during this monthly cycle of ladies, that time apana is stronger. And because apana was stronger, that's why they are not allowed to do many things. Like in Sicily I was told, like those days they were not allowed to make a dough. During this menstruation time, this monthly cycle time, ladies were not allowed to make dough. They said dough will not will not ferment properly. And also sometimes they will not, in India we have, also they had, you are not supposed to pour water in plants and other things. It's just 30 years back incident in Sicily. In India also now everything is gone, don't worry. India is also growing differently. What's wrong in it? You understand? However, that's none of our point here to discuss. So because apana is strong, that's why your energy is down, and whatever you do, things are not going to happen. So can you see how the cultural practices was the part of it? That part nobody talks. Hygienic this, that, okay, those days there was no hygienic, that's why everything, now we have got best pad and whatnot, and the advertisement comes jumping and whatnot. Appa, good, please. What about mind? What about your energy level? That's why when America does the study, that during monthly period time, that 40% is only ladies are able to work. 60% is there, cannot work in the office. Their delivery is 60% less. People accept. In fact, this during those 4-5 days, whoever maintains certain, proper way, whole month the person will be more energetic. Maybe that is called breathing space. Because a lady never gets a breathing space, please understand. This was the culture. A man has got a breathing space. A lady works like a donkey, all role put together. Mother, wife, maidservant, caretaker, anything and everything. And on the top of it, but where is the breathing space for wife? For a lady? So maybe God has created those 3-4 days, you have a breathing space, nobody can say anything. But now things have gone other way around. Because person doesn't have that breathing space, that's why you can see most of the ladies are going crazy because of this reason. If these 3-4 days are being given proper rest, I am 100% sure that whole month will be excellent. Anyway, that's not my job. Let me come back. So here, when it talks about prana and apana, we look at it this way. Whereas when we look at into 5 categories, in 5 ways, there we say prana means respiration. And of course, apana means downward evacuation. Whether your stool or urine or whatever. So respiration, evacuation. Then comes samana. Samana is digestion. Of course, udana, which is very good. You understand? Sometimes you do, okay? So udgigana. And in fact, that is very good, useful, especially at the time of death. That's why before death, almost everybody does hiccups. If you see any natural death, always there will be hiccups, including heart attacks. Because that only allows the jiva to leave the body. So what is jiva? Chidvasa endowed with what? Come on. Avidya, okay? You have to talk this language now, okay? So anyway, because you are now in Panchadasi, so you have to visualize that, so that when you talk, if you say soul, then it becomes emotional. When you talk about Chidvasa, okay, after all Chidvasa, I am Chidvasa, endowed with Avidya. So you create a distance yourself. There is no worries, there is no anxieties with reference to death. There is no involvement. Can you see this point? Soul, you understand? You search where is your soul. Yes, or S-O-L-E or S-O-U-L, you do not know, okay? So you start, finally you look at your feet, okay? Where is my soul? Coming back. And finally, called Vyana, circulation. So based on its functioning, we divide pranas into 5 categories. Okay, I understand. Now, what is the purpose? Why are you describing? What is the purpose of describing this creation of 5 elements, sense organs and blah blah blah? You think that I don't have anything to do or what? So will you please come to the point? Now let us read. Buddhi karmendriya prana pañcakair manaśca shariram saptadasavihi sukṣmam tallingam uchyate. Buddhi karmendriya prana pañcakair manaśca shariram saptadasavihi sukṣmam tallingam uchyate. Now, why it is being highlighted? What is the purpose? The purpose is lingam. So what is lingam? We use that lingam artham gamayati iti called lingam. So that which makes visible invisible things, that you are able to recognize, through which you are able to recognize invisible thing. For example, we give fire and smoke. The smoke becomes a linga of fire. Wherever you see smoke, seeing the smoke, you come to the understanding there is a fire. Don't bring to me smokeless, fireless smoke and all these things. Okay, all the cigar and e-cigar and other things. Okay, please don't get into that mode. Okay, but don't worry, there is something. Okay, there is some spark. Without spark, nothing will happen. So there has to be some spark. Remember. So anyway, let us not get into argument mode. If you get into argument mode, I cannot help here. Okay. So smoke, see, because from a distance you see the smoke. Only smoke is visible, but fire is not visible. But what you infer, what you understand very well that there is not only smoke, also there is behind fire. So that's why this sense organs, including this mana buddhi, inner instrument, and pancha pranas were taught. Why? Because with this group of sense organs, buddhi, karmendriya, prana, pañcakaihi, with this group of sense organs, of course 5 organs of actions and 5 pranas, along with what? Manaśca dhyacha, along with mind and buddhi, means your mind and intellect. They called as saptadasabhihi, with the 17 parts. They are called as sarira. We discussed that this group of 5 sense organs, then organs of actions, 5 pranas, mind and buddhi, not buddhi and mind and buddhi, put together these 17 are called as sukshma sarira. Interestingly, that sukshma sarira, lingam uchyate, he asked this one word beautifully. So what do you mean by this lingam here? Because okay, you explained before entering into the text, yes, like how the smoke. So seeing the smoke, you understand there is fire. Now also, seeing this linga sarira, sukshma sarira, this is called lingam, you understand there is atma. Because the Chidivhasa only will be reflected in that Antakarana. So that means it's very clear that the sentience, that Chidvasa, that reflection, the Chit aspect definitely is there. That Chit, which we call as Sambit, the knowledge principle, is there. That's why beautifully in Indian context we say that everybody is Shiva, whereas when this Linga Sharira, Karana Shariram goes away, that person becomes Shava, that Ikara goes away. Shava means dead body. Shiva becomes Shava. So there is not much difference between word or alive person and dead body. We have, especially in South India, this culture is there, very nice, I like it. You know what they do? They will try to test. Those days there was nothing, nowadays you have to take the hospital, get death certificate, because all issues. Those days who cares? Because unless you get death certificate, you cannot get back your money from the bank, this, that, what hell you have to go through. So those days what they will do? They will test first through the hand. Suppose they cannot understand, they will take a cotton. Any movement, anything is happening or not. So they say very nicely, same cotton they don't waste, okay? Why to waste this cotton? Put it on the nose. Stop it. Inevitably you will see every dead body will have two cottons. Somebody told me, I said, why the cotton is being put? To make sure that he is not coming back, not able to breathe. Because jokingly somebody said, I said, please don't talk. No, this is true. I'm telling you. Then I said, because that person, I said, was he or she? No, actually it was she. I said, was she your mother-in-law or what? Why are you so upset with it? No, please don't get into too much. But I'll tell you this is the truth. Anyway, coming back, joke apart. So now, because of the presence of this Linga Sharira, subtle body, we have possibility to understand the Atma. That's why wherever this Karana Shariram is stronger, sorry, I might say Sukshma Sharira, wherever this Sukshma Sharira is stronger, means transparent, there the possibility of understanding one's own self is better. That's why a jiva, any other jiva like animal, even though they have also Sukshma Sharira, they will not be able to understand. That's why interestingly I would like to tell you, when we do prana pratishtha, any prana pratishtha time, this is something really to be understood very nicely. Especially now in Pañcaratra also, this Chaitra Navaratra or Saradya Navaratra is very interesting. Especially I have seen in Odisha a lot. When this Durga Murti is being created out of clay, so they do prana pratishtha. You will be shocked to see before prana pratishtha and after prana pratishtha, all the sense organs are different. The eyes are really eyes. A tremendous change takes place. So that means what? There, this is the point, is the Sukshma Sarira is being placed, can you see this point? Through the mantra and other things. The moment Sukshma Sarira is available on the deity, you look at that as God or Goddess. The energy becomes entirely different. And interestingly, this is something to be observed. You need to have little different eye altogether. Interestingly, just when Dasami day, they do Visarjanam. Same deity, same decoration, everything will be there. The moment with the procedure they ask all this, Chakshu Grahana, all Indriyas to go back to its own place, you will discover in few minutes the face of the deity will become pale. It's an amazing concept. So, in short, what I am trying to highlight here is that the Sukshma Sarira becomes a lingam to understand Atma. Okay. What about this combination of this Chit? How do you look at all these things you are talking about in bestie level, in the individual level? What about samashti level? I would like to know in total level. Okay, let us read next verse. Prajñastatrabhimanena taijasattam prapadyate hiranyagarbhatamishah tayoḥ samasthita. Prajñastastrabhimanena taijasattam prapadyate hiranyagarbhatamishah tayoḥ samasthita. So it's beautiful. Now, when you look at there in the subtle body, tatra, now there is identification. By the identification, abhimanena, prajñah taijasatvam prapadyate. So prajña means what? Jiva prajña iti uchyate. That means what? Karana sariram abhimani. Okay, please go back and refer Tattva Bodha, which also we have discussed little earlier. So now this prajña now gets this status of a taijas. How? Here it says Ishvaraha also in samashti level. This is individual level. In samashti level, Ishvaraha becomes hiranyagarbha. Okay? Tayoḥ vyasti samastita bhavati. So if you look at, so this is what the combination, there is a distinction, there is also relationship between this microcosm and macrocosm, between the individuality and the totality. That's why here also we need to see very carefully. Many times this hiranyagarbha is being misunderstood. So hiranyagarbha means golden egg. Okay? So Brahmaji is sometimes also with the technical say hiranyagarbha is also Brahmaji, okay? Not Brahman, Brahmaji. That's why I am adding Ji. With the white beard, has got 4 Vedas, okay? 4 heads, stands for 4 Vedas, okay? The eldest person means represents the maturity, nothing else, okay? So here, when we look at this thing, so he created this universe. How? Having a golden egg. From golden egg we are born, okay? That's why we all are crazy for gold, okay? Anyway, it's not like that. Gold, that's why Hiranyam Hema Ayandam Garbha Utpatistanam Yasya Saha Hiranyagarbha. We need to understand this point. Hiranya means gold, no doubt in it. So gold means not the gold metal, Gold stands for luminous. So how it is luminous? That's why we have to see the most luminous thing is what? Sambit, okay? The chit that we have been discussing. The knowledge principle. So when this knowledge principle becomes Hiranyam, that means what? Now the Paramatma, as everything depends upon what? This Hiranyam. So that means what? The Paramatma, or you say Atma, nothing wrong in it, Brahman, now that becomes the very knowledge principle. And of course, when you say Andam, Andam means egg. Why egg? So egg we talk this way because Garbha means womb. Womb stands for origin of birth, foundation of birth, basis of birth. So that means what? So Hiranyagarbha, or you can say Brahmaji, becomes the creator, foundation of all birth. Can you see this point? That's why this Hiranyagarbha name is being highlighted. So however, here if this is the case, now question may arise that why this individuality, if both are one and same, if everything is great, but then why this individuality is different from totality? Because you are telling Prajna Tajasa is same with Ishvara and Hiranyagarbha. Just now you spoke. And also you have analyzed in details the Srishti Prakriya. In Srishti Prakriya, there is no difference at all. But in our day-to-day life, in our transaction, we see that the individuality is different from totality. Why it happens? This we will see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.